Welcome to Story Time.
Hello, today's story is called Jeremy's Ride. And this is Jeremy, the mouse, and ride, like when we go on a bus. So we can ride on a bus. So it means go on a bus. So what does Jeremy do? We'll see in a minute. Our story today is in Puddle Lane. What does Puddle Lane mean? Lane is a small street. Very small. Maybe one car can drive there. Very small street. And puddle, when it rains and you have water on the floor in a big circle, we call this a puddle. So, Puddle Lane. Our story today is about the mice. And this man, he's a magician. Like Harry Potter can do magic. He's got white. He's very old, so he's a magician. And a cat. And mice. So they're going to have an adventure. So we see what happens. Right. I'll read it a little and then I'll show you the pictures. It was Friday evening and the wide-awake mice were in Candletown Market. So maybe they go there to get some food. It's getting dark, said Grandfather Mouse. So the sun go down and the moon is coming up. So it's getting dark. The sky goes black. We can't see. We must go home. Let me just finish this nut, said Jeremy. So he's eating a nut. Doesn't want to stop. You start off and we'll follow, said Chestnut. There's Chestnut Mouse. That's his name, Chestnut. He had just found another nut too, and he didn't want to leave it. Well, don't be long, said Grandfather Mouse. He led the way across the square. The square is in the middle where all the houses are. In China we have a square. We can go dancing there. But here in Puddle Lane is where the mice can go. So here's the town and the little mice. You can see all the mice here looking for food. We must go home, said Grandfather Mouse. And what they're doing here is Chestnut and Jeremy. They're eating their nuts. These are nuts. They like to eat them. We can run much faster than Uncle Maximus, said Jeremy. Yes, but we mustn't be long, said Chestnut. Tom Cat comes out in the evening. Jeremy choked on his last piece of nut. All right, he said, when he recovered his breath. Let's go. So Tom Cat, that's the name of the cat. So they're a little scared of Tom Cat. This is Tom. His name's Tom, and he's a cat. So we call him Tom Cat. And here's the little mice. And the little mice here, and Tom Cat is watching, look. He can see them. And here we've got Puddle Lane. This is the start where you go here and it's Puddle Lane. They had almost reached the entrance to Puddle Lane. Entrance where you go in. When Chestnut stopped, his whiskers twitched. You look at the mouse and the cat, you can see these little things here. They're called whiskers. Whiskers. There's someone about, he said. Tom Cat sprang out of the shadows. So here's shadows and it's dark. And Tom Cat, he jump out of the shadows. Run, cried Chestnut, rushing off to one side. Run for your life. So Chestnut jump over here and run away. Jeremy is here And Tomcat, I'm hungry. Let's have a look here. We can see the big buildings and look at the stone. This is stone. You can see the mouse can climb the stone up here, look. And this is the start, the entrance of Puddle Lane. And this is the cat. His name is Tom. So we call him Tomcat. Jeremy raced. Race means like a race. Go fast. Towards Puddle Lane. Tomcat stopped for a second. He wasn't sure which mouse to follow. Do I eat this mouse? No. Do I eat this mouse? No. This mouse run away. This mouse go up the wall. Then he sprang after Jeremy. So he jumped after Jeremy. The seconds pause. Pause means little stop. Had given Jeremy just time to reach the archway. If you look here, this circle come up here, we call this an archway. Maybe you have in your house. That led to Puddle Lane. If he tried to run through it, Tomcat would have caught him, but he didn't. So he didn't go into Puddle Lane because Tomcat is very fast. He ran up the wall of the archway as fast as he could. Look, he climbed up the wall super fast, and Tomcat can't climb. He can, but only a little. Jeremy ran up the wall. Wow, here you can see there's Jeremy on the wall, and down here, all the way down, a long way down, this is Tomcat. He wants to eat him. Tomcat leapt up after him, but Jeremy was just out of reach. Tomcat fell back to the ground. Jeremy scrambled, that means he climbed very quickly, up the old wall, clinging to the cracks. You look here, you can see this is a crack. And here, so the mouse, he can climb them because he has small feet and he can go very fast between the stones until he came to the windowsill. Here you can see a window, and this is a window sill. At home, maybe inside your house, you have windowsill. You can put plants in your house. We call this window sill. He looked down. Tomcat was standing there watching him and slowly twitching his tail from side to side. So look at Tomcat, his tail do this. He's waiting for the mouse to fall down because he's hungry. Jeremy looked down. So here's Jeremy. You can see he looked down at Tomcat. Wow, he's on the windowsill. It's Jeremy. Archway. Tomcat. Oh, there's another mouse in a hole. That was a near thing, said a squeaky little voice in his ear. Squeaky, like a mouse. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Jeremy jumped round and saw a little mouse looking out of a hole between two stones. You'd better come inside. So that means come in, said the mouse. I know Tomcat. He'll just sit there and wait for you. Jeremy looked down. Tomcat was sitting on the stones below, looking up. So here's the mouse in the hole, and he wants Jeremy to come into the hole with him, into his house. And there's Tomcat. Jeremy looked down. Wow, this is in the house. This is in the roof. And the two little mice. And look, he's made a new friend. They can be friends. Jeremy shivered and followed the mouse through the hole. he found himself in a room over the archway leading to Puddle Lane. The room was empty and there were cobwebs on the windows. Cobweb is where a spider lives. We call this cobweb. The big white things that you see in the park with the spiders on them, we call this cobweb. "I'm Whiskers," said the mouse, as soon as Jeremy was safely inside. "I live here." "I thought mice were called after the names of trees," said Jeremy. "Wood mice have names like that," said Whiskers. "I'm a house mouse. I have a proper mouse name." So he lives in a house. He's a house mouse. It's not a wood mice. "I have a proper mouse name and a proper house to live in. I don't live outside in the rain." So here's the two mice, and here's the room over Puddle Lane, and you can see it's empty. No chairs, no tables, nothing. "I'm Whiskers," said the mouse. Well, here's the window. Here's a windowsill. We can put the flowers. Can't see any cobwebs here. Here. Cobweb. This is cobweb, where the spiders live. So it's very old. And here, he's on the floor. "I live in the magician's garden," said Jeremy, "and I've got to get home. I should stay here till morning if I were you," said Whiskers. "So stay when the sun comes up. It's time to get up in the morning. If you go now, Tom Cat will be waiting for you. But if I'm not home soon, Grandfather will come and look for me," said Jeremy, "and Tom Cat will see him. Grandfather will never get away from Tom Cat. He can't run fast enough." Whiskers ran up the wall on the far side of the room and looked out of another window up Puddle Lane. So other side of the room, we are here. Other side of the room over here. So they are here. Here's the window. So he ran other side of the room to window number 2. Whiskers ran up the wall. So he ran up the wall. Wow, here's the window. You can see the windows and the lights because it's dark. Here we've got Jeremy and Whiskers. They can see through the window. "Jeremy, come and have a look," he said. Jeremy ran across the room and climbed up beside him. "What did I tell you?" said Whiskers. "Tom Cat's there, waiting." Jeremy looked down. Tom Cat had come through the archway and was watching him from inside Puddle Lane. And here you can see Tom Cat. Jeremy looked down. There's Jeremy and Whiskers and the moon, because it's night time. It's evening now. And they sit on the window sill. This is window, and this is window sill, where you put the flowers. And here's the archway, and the two mice are here in the window over the archway. "But I've got to get home," said Jeremy. "There's one way you might manage it." "That means you can do it," said Whiskers. "That is, if you're not too frightened." That means scared. "What's that?" asked Jeremy. "I saw the magician go into the square a little while ago." So, small time, a little while ago, said Whiskers. "He'll come home this way soon." So, a little time, soon. "You could jump down on his hat as he comes through the archway and get a ride home. He'd never notice you." So he said, jump on the magician, jump on his hat, and then he can walk through. and Tomcat won't see you. I have got to get home, said Jeremy. So he's telling his friend he has to go home because Grandfather will come and look for him. And Grandfather's a little old and slow. Well, you can see the mice and the hole in the wall and the windowsill. And here you can see them on the windowsill. I'll try, said Jeremy. Like, have a try. You've got to do more than just try, said Whiskers. If you miss, you'll land on the ground, and Tomcat will get you. Jeremy shivered. Shivered when you're cold and your body goes, "Whoa!" Shiver. I think I can do it, he said. Grandfather will be coming soon. This way then, said Whiskers. He led the way to a little hole between two stones. Here you can see the two stones and a little hole. And you can see here the little hole and the two mice come out of the hole onto the window sill. Whiskers led the way. That means come here, this way, to a little hole. Here's your little hole. Wow, here's the magician with his book. And this is the magician. And there's a magician's hat and the archway. Here's the window and the two mice. And here is Tomcat. The two mice crept. Crept means walk, quiet, can't hear you. Through the hole, out onto the windowsill. The moon was shining down, and Jeremy could see Tomcat watching them from the stones below. Listen, said Whiskers. Here's the magician. Jeremy heard slow footsteps. So when you walk, this is foot, step. Coming over the stones. He felt almost too frightened to move. So he can hear the magician walk slowly and his feet on the stones on the floor. Clop, clop, clop. Jeremy saw Tomcat. Wow, what have we got here? There's the magician. That's his hat and a mouse. And there's his friend Whiskers on the windowsill. He looked down and saw the magician's flat hat below him. Now, squeaked Whiskers. Jump. Jeremy jumped. He felt himself falling through the air. And for one dreadful moment, he thought he had missed. So when he jumped, he said, "Oh no, I've missed. Oh no, Tomcat's going to get me." There's the flat hat. Jeremy jumped. You see the magician, he's reading her book. Here's Tomcat and the magician and a mouse on his hat. And here you can see the moon shining. Then his feet landed on the magician's hat, and he held on with all his claws. We have nails. These are nails. Mice have claw. Right? So dogs, cats, mice, they have a claw. They don't have fingernails like us. They have claws. His heart was beating so loudly, so his heart was going boom, 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 that it sounded like a drum banging in his ears. He's very scared. Jeremy landed on the magician's hat. Here's the magician, magician's hat. There's Jeremy. This is Puddle Lane. This is Puddle Lane. And Tomcat. Here he is, Jeremy. This is the hat and the old magician. And Tomcat looks a little angry. When he recovered a little, so he's a bit better now, he's only a little scared, he looked around him, round like a circle, so he can look this way and look around. Around, like a circle. He was going down Puddle Lane at a steady pace. Steady pace means you walk the same like this. Not fast, slow, fast, slow. The same, all the way down. On the magician's head, he looked back. So here he is. He looked back. This is the back. He can see Tomcat. The light in the houses shone through the windows, and he could see quite well. Tomcat was creeping after them in the shadows at the side of the lane. His eyes were on Jeremy. Here's the shadows. This is the light from the windows at night. Tomcat, and this is the shadow. So it's hard to see him. Jeremy looked back. Well, here's the magician and the gates. This is gates to his garden. Here's Tomcat. Jeremy wasn't cold, but he found himself shivering. They came to the gates. This is gates of the magician's garden. As the magician turned to shut the gate, he saw Tomcat. "Shoo, scat, be off with you," cried the magician. The magician saw Tomcat. So there's the magician. Now he can see Tomcat. Wow, look at the magician. And a fire ball. He can make a ball out of fire. And look at Tomcat. He's not happy. Tomcat stopped. "Scat!" cried the magician again. He snapped his fingers. Snap fingers. A little ball of fire, here we go, little ball of fire, fell into the lane just in front of Tomcat. Tomcat turned and fled. This means run away. He ran back down the lane as fast as he could run, with the little ball of fire chasing after him. So Tomcat ran away very fast. He fled with a little ball of fire after him. So Tomcat ran back down the lane. Here's the little mouse. Here's Jeremy. He's on the gates, and the magician is looking at him. Here's the magician. The magician laughed and snapped his fingers again. The ball of fire disappeared. Means you can't see it. It's gone. Jeremy didn't wait. As quick as a flash, so super fast, he jumped onto the gate and ran down the gate to the garden. So he jumped from the hat onto the gate, down the gate and into the garden. Jeremy ran down the gate. Oh, we've got Grandfather Mouse. This is their hole where they live, and Jeremy Mouse in the tree. As he got to the hollow tree, he met Grandfather Mouse. "Jeremy," cried Grandfather, "I'm so glad to see you. Chestnut came home without you. He came home the back way. I was just coming to see where you were." "I'm so glad to be home," said Jeremy, still shivering. "I've had such an adventure." "Come inside and tell us all about it," said Grandfather. "You're quite safe now." And he followed Jeremy into the hole under the hollow tree. Grandfather Mouse, Jeremy, this is the hole in a tree which is no middle inside. It's a hollow tree. Jeremy met. So met, meet. Nice to meet you. We say met Grandfather Mouse. There we go. That's our story today. And this is Puddle Lane. This is Puddle Lane. And our story today, Jeremy's ride. Jeremy and Chestnut. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mark, for sharing your story with us. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.